I'm back. It's so good to be back. I've been on a trip for cheer over the last like 4 days, and we are home. We got home yesterday. I'm shooting this on Tuesday morning. We drove back on Monday. So the story here was that Belle had her nationals, her big end of the year competition down in Destin, and this is her first year doing all-star cheer. Last couple of years she has done rec, and if you've heard me talk about cheer a lot more this year, that's because there's been more competitions, more practicing, just it's a bigger thing. And the season ends with this big competition down in Florida. So we drove down there on Thursday. That was our travel day. They had a practice on Friday. They competed Saturday, Sunday. And then we headed back before the butt crack of dawn yesterday, and it put us home at around 3 in the afternoon, which was really good because I had a chance to do laundry, put in a grocery order, start putting things away. There's a lot of catching up to do after a trip, but they did amazing. They scored, I think, some of their highest scores of the season, placed first. They're such a sweet group of girls, and they hit their routine, and on Sunday when they came off the mat, they were crying. They were in tears because, you know, that was their last time doing it, and it's sad. But yeah, it was just a really great trip all the way around. We loved the place we stayed. It's my favorite condo we've ever stayed in down in that area. It was just perfect for us. 2 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms had a bunk bed, and it was like a full bed on top of a queen bed, and the girls in Uga just loved it. Like, we got to figure out how to get some bunk beds going on in this house. They loved that so much. And it came actually with a golf cart. We're in the Sandestin resort area, and you could just drive a golf cart pretty much everywhere. Drove the golf cart to the competition. There's a tunnel that goes under a highway, you know, and you could be on your golf cart constantly. It was just a terrific time. But anyways, I need to start on my makeup today. I'm just going to do some light makeup. Actually, I was just unpacking, so it's some of the things I ended up taking. I will usually bring a small variety of foundations on a trip, something light, maybe also a stick, and then something fuller coverage. This is what I used a lot, this L'Oreal Lumi Le Glow tint. Shade is 120 Neutral, has the little pump. It's very thin and liquidy, but it looks super pretty on my skin. I'm just gonna dab it around. And when I pair this with a concealer that has some decent coverage, I end up really happy with the look. And then I set it with some powder. Hangs in there rather well. I take my little Profusion buffing brush and blend. So from Destin to Southern Illinois, we're talking a 10-hour drive, usually a little bit more if we have a stop or two. And we definitely chose to drive with 3 kids. I mean, I guess flying could have been an option, but with all their stuff, I mean, it just seemed less complicated to do it this way. Bub and I kind of traded off driving, but made sure he always drove through Nashville because it's just kind of crazy. We had a little backup. I can't remember if it was around Nashville or Birmingham. I think it was Birmingham. Those are our 2 biggest cities to get through on our route. When we were going to Gulf Shores, we took a different way. We went like down through Mississippi, and I preferred that. But if you're going more toward Destin, you kind of got to go straight through Alabama. But there's the Le Glow tint all over. As you can see, it does, I feel like, a little bit more on the coverage end than some of my lighter weight options that I have, than a lot of my lighter weight options, like tinted moisturizer type stuff, but still very glowy. And then this looks really pretty with it. The NYX Bear With Me concealer serum. I was rediscovering this in a recent video. I wear it in light. Takes just a little bit. In fact, I did a small pump right there, and I feel like maybe I'm gonna have more than I need. But it's thin, it's light, but it is sneaky in terms of the amount of coverage it can give you. And I think, you know, whenever I go with something light coverage on the skin, I want to make sure that the concealer can hang in there and really do what I want it to do, so I can be very satisfied with the end look. And I'm going to use my double-ended little Monge concealer brush and just dab it in. It could not be easier to blend because it's so thin, you know? Even this first step where I say I'm not really blending it, I'm just spreading it out a little bit. It's practically blended after I go over it with that. I flipped to the larger side. I got some on my eyelid. Oops. The kittens were so glad to see us when we got home. Had Mom and Dad check on them while we were gone. But I gotta say, like, I still feel the need to go back and do like some kind of non-cheer related vacation, because while we did have some time to go out and do what we wanted to, you know, run over to the beach, the weather was actually really spotty. We had rain on and off each day. And I felt like it was pretty short windows of time that we could get to the beach, as you can tell from my overall lack of tan. We managed to do it, but they'd be like, okay, we're going to take a group picture on this day, or they're going to jump into the pool in their uniform and do all this stuff. And then we realize, oh, we're kind of not having much time. But I will say we still managed to find a decent amount of time to swim. We had a pool that was kind of like part of where we were staying, and so we swam there several times and did get out to the beach a few times too. The last time though, we thought we were going to have a lot longer than we did, and there was a double red flag warning, and so you really couldn't get into the water, I guess. I'm not well versed on what the flags mean, but some beach police came through and was telling everybody, like, get out of the water. What do you even call them? Beach police? Like, I don't know the terminology. They weren't lifeguards. They had a special little, sand buggy they were riding around in. I used my one size because I just took that out of my bag. That was what I took on my travels because it's a nice, compact little loose powder. And then, like, by the time you've done this, if you don't have a ton of skin issues elsewhere on your face, you can feel like this really did the job while being light, and then your concealer and powder totally, like, took care of the rest. I still think my eyes look very puffy and tired, but that's what you get for sitting in a car for most of the day. We did stop at a Buc-ee's on the way back through. It was near Huntsville, Alabama. Our second time at a Buc-ee's. It's huge. It's kind of feels like a little circus in there, like they're making tortillas over here and they're making brisket biscuits over here. But the bathrooms are immaculate. I gotta say, the bathrooms are absolutely perfect. And I finally got something I've been meaning to get for a long time. I'm using this from Laura Mercier, that little duo. This is the Riviera one. Little deeper, shade 40. But I finally got some of those hot pecans. Like they sell them in a little cone. You take them out of the warmer. I've seen these in other places too, and I've always wanted to get them. But you take them out and okay, they're warm. And they've got this sort of cinnamon sugar coating, but it's not like loose flaking everywhere. It's like a real coating that's kind of dried on the pecan. And it's not too heavy on the cinnamon, but just enough so you can tell it's there. They're so good. Just a few. And I was like, wow, this really satisfied me, I was very pleased with that. I'm just bronzing up. I'm using the bronzer side of this, so this is a duo product. This other side is going to be kind of like bronzer with a little glow, and it's a little lighter. But the deeper one, as you can see, is going to get some work done. It's going to chisel out your cheek. It's going to feel weird to be like getting everybody back to school, but we were able to get makeup work for the girls. They worked on that quite a bit, like Wednesday afternoon, and then saved some for on the way on the trip. They're like, it'll give us something to do. The first thing I thought when I heard that there was going to be a trip during the school year, first thing I thought was, I don't like them having to miss school. We're getting here toward the end of the year. I wish it like maybe happened just after the school year ended so they didn't have to miss. But it is what it is. This is one of the newer blushes from Too Faced. They put out a shade of their Cloud Crush called Super Candy Clouds. They got one called Candy Clouds, and the original one is just still cool pink, but softer. See the difference? I'm loving this one. They're both great, but this one's really pretty and is the one I wanted to reach for all weekend long. Put it on Belle as well. Not because she's going around in makeup day to day, but for the competition. And have I talked about how like we couldn't share their routine all year? Like this is a normal thing, but teams don't share their routines before the season is over. I guess because other teams, like when they see you're on their schedule, they'll look you up and they'll be able to figure out what you've got and they can adjust their routines accordingly, maybe sometimes, or copy things. I don't know. But they always say you cannot share pictures of the stunts. You can't share the routine until the season is over. So I was finally able to like put together a little video, a little montage of some of her stuff, but I didn't get a great video of the routine from the weekend. I was either not holding my camera still or I was screaming. I have to see if another parent got something of that. This is my little Milani highlighter. Super glowy. Okay, I'm gonna do my brows. I'm gonna use my little e.l.f. waterproof pencil that I always say, like when you put this pencil in, it's different. It's like a totally different formula from the regular Instant Lift, and it holds your brows up a little bit. So I've been used to really skinny pencils, so every time I pull this out, I'm like, ew, don't go too much. And then I'm using this Precisely My Brow Wax from Benefit. Just an underused thing. It's got like a little bigger brush than Gimme Brow. and the shade is 4, and I'm just going to take that through. I can feel it holding. I don't think it's maybe holding quite as much as a Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt, but you can feel something going on there. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't go over with this. I do feel a little tacky. Maybelline Superstay, this was another part of what I did. I would have done this after setting the concealer, but maybe I'll just get down in these areas that didn't get bronzer or blush. Maybe a little up here too. This stuff is just really great for staying power. As you can see, I've hit pan. The pan is expanding. I'm gonna use it up. For eyes, I took a couple things. I took my Ilia Warm palette just because it's very compact and I like those warm tones. And then for a slightly cooler option, I took my e.l.f. Ethereal Eyes palette. I'll show you that in a second. This one. And this was what I used on Belle as well because they don't have really a distinct eyeshadow requirement. They're supposed to wear false lashes. But I always think the look makes a bit more sense if there's a slight bit of eyeshadow going on there. Plus there's a really pretty like sparkly shade that just looks nice on the lid, nice and glowy. So anyways, I use this on me and her throughout. And I'm just taking that taupe matte. Can you hear the birds out there? Oh my gosh, I feel like they're right by the window. You're not gonna believe what Bub got me for Mother's Day. I haven't been able to get it out and get it put up yet, but it's a bird feeder that connects to your phone and it has like a camera on it so you can see like when a bird is right in close and like coming to the feeder, you can see the bird. You can watch it eat on your phone. I think that's awesome. We have a ton of cardinals around in our backyard and I love to watch them. They came around a lot when it was snowy. I was putting out lots of seed for them. And we got a lot of robins too, a few really beautiful bluebirds. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this so much. I hope the birds do also. I hope you enjoy being spied on, birds, because I am now gonna be a bird spy. What else we doing here? I really like the dark brown that's in this. I will reach for it almost every time I get this palette out. Even if it's not going to be a big, bold, dark look, you'll see. I just like it in the outer corner. I mean, whichever corner. A little bit out there. So I do a little bit, go into the same shade with small pointed brush, and then work the same color kind of up into the crease. A little bit above the crease, you know what I'm saying? My usual tricks here. Feeling like we want an easy look. We're just happy to be back in the makeup room. I don't really care what I'm doing with it today. I'm just glad to be here. This was the shade I was talking about that's so pretty on the lids. It's glimmery, kind of sparkly. I'm gonna use a little bit today. This is just a little smaller sized flat brush. By the way, while I was gone, I got a package from Morphe and it says it's their brushes reimagined or something. And I've never gotten full on into Morphe. Do you remember like years back when they were getting really popular? They were doing a lot of sponsored stuff and I kind of like backed away. There was just this chunk of time where it felt like everybody was talking about Morphe because they were getting paid to talk about Morphe. Currently, as it stands now, I have a few Morphe brushes that I use regularly. My under eye bullet brush, and then they're one of the only brands that makes like this flat brush exactly how I like it, and this little brush as well. So the small flat pointed brush. But I'm excited to dig into what they have sent because it seems to be a full set, and I'm going to be checking that out and see what I think of it. I'm going to do some e.l.f. lash extender and curl my lashes first. Why is it that on vacation, okay, the kids are going to bed later than ever every night. We didn't have early morning stuff. When they competed was in the afternoon. So they stayed up a little later. But then why is it that they're waking up earlier than even on a school day? You know, every day that we were staying there. Like, why are you guys up this early? You need your sleep. Lash extender. So this is a tubing mascara. It's basically replaced my Cali Ray. And the age that this tube is now getting on it, it's building up faster even. And I just like having a good drugstore mascara that I can count on, that I can wear it on the lower lashes, not worry about it smudging, and not have to think like, oh, when I run out of this, it's got to be another Sephora order. Because you know what I do? Then that'll drive me to get more things from Sephora that I don't actually need. I'm doing a little on the lowers. That's really what this mascara's specialty is for me. Because again, the non-smudging element. Okay, there's the eye, and then for lips, I'm definitely getting back into my Burt's Bees lip shimmers. This is the one called Fig. So yeah, they do have shimmer in them and a lot of pigmented color, and they feel a little minty. This one's like a little toned down from rhubarb, but still has a reddish look. And then, yeah, I guess I'm really wanting the cooling sensations, but I also took this Buxom gloss in Dolly. A very classic shade of their lip polish. They got the lip creams that are just shiny. The lip polishes have a little shimmer. And this just kind of coordinates well with everything. It gives me that kind of long-lasting gloss on top. Shiny, pinky, nice. I feel like my face still looks tired, but that's okay. If I can sneak in a nap sometime today, I will take it. Thank you for joining me for this little makeup and catch-up session. It's really good to be back in this room, and I will see you guys again very soon. I love you. Bye.